Welcome back to Cupertino Uncovered Podcast. This is episode 3. I'm super excited for y'all to see this video. We had a lot of things going on. There's a lot of ups, downs, lefts, rights, and one new product that Apple released, and we're going to talk about that right now. And then we've also found some new cool information for the more uncovered section, so stay tuned for that. Apple released Apple Pencil USB-C. It's a very weird product, kind of, just because it is $20 less expensive than the first gen Apple Pencil, and the first Apple Pencil won't die. So it has Apple obviously gave us a chart because we needed the chart to see why is it $20 less expensive than the first gen, but then all the things. So it has, all three have the pixel perfect precision, the low latency, the tilt sensitivity. The USB-C Apple Pencil does not have the pressure sensitivity, but it does attach magnetically to the side of your iPad, but it doesn't have that on the first gen. And then the first gen Apple Pencil also has the pressure sensitivity. Wireless pairing charging is only exclusively for the Apple Pencil 2, and then the Apple Pencil USB-C and the second gen Apple Pencil both support the iPad Pro's hover feature, and then the second gen Apple Pencil only has the double tap and then the free engraving. I don't know why, but it's weird. I don't think iPad Pro users will be getting this USB-C pencil just because, one, they would rather get the best of the best and everything with the pencil in general. I don't think they would want to have a wired, charging Apple Pencil, and especially with the pressure sensitivity being gone, that's a major downside to that. So I don't think that they would be getting that.
Yeah, and with that pressure sensitivity going away, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and how students, depending on what you want to do, if you're an art major, right, if you're drawing a lot, you really want that. And why is Apple taking that away, right?
Yeah.
And then just let's say you want a more bold stroke or a lighter stroke, it's just
yeah. And I think that's a good point. And maybe it depends on what kind of student you are. Are you a graphic designer, artist who is really going to be utilizing these illustration programs a lot, and really capitalizing on that pressure sensitivity feature, which I do think makes the Apple Pencil unique and separates it from a lot of more cheaper kind of market styluses that you can find on Amazon for $20, right?
Most definitely, yeah.
So if I'm just because personally I'm not an artist or a graphic, I wish I was, but I'm not. So if I'm just in science class writing down basic notes, maybe I don't need the pressure sensitivity feature that much. Maybe just a single static stroke is enough for me. So I think, especially for a college student, because I think that's one of the big markets that this could be marketed to, especially with the $79 price point. I think you do have to determine which type of student you are, which classes you're taking, and how much you will utilize this pressure sensitivity feature, which I do think is a big differentiating factor between these different models.
Right. But I do like the design of the Apple Pencil. I like how you can just simply pull out a little bit and then, put it, the USB-C to charge. Now the real question is, can you charge it and use it at the same time? And we will know in November. So I think they should just really honestly kill off the first gen. It's been 10 years and it has lightning, and they're moving on with USB-C, and I'm just, please let it go. We don't need 3 Apple Pencils. Just do Apple Pencil and Apple Pencil Pro basically at this point. And
yeah, because I feel like they're going to have to get rid of the Lightning one pretty soon, 2024, right, because of the European Union.
But then they also have the dongle, so they can get away with it.
Oh, that's true. That's so stupid. Oh my gosh.
Just please let the pencil die.
I mean, they have to, if they still have the first gen around, they have to have some sort of selling data that shows that it's still selling pretty substantially to keep it around.
I guess so, but it's still Apple being Apple. They love their dongles.
So.
And but Apple did update their picture for the iPad 10. So if you have the iPad 10, you can get the USB-C Apple Pencil to just nicely sit on top. But I guess this is just a way to combat, since the iPad 10 is the only one that has the landscape camera. Unfortunately, we don't have that on the other iPads, so I guess they're trying to figure that out, how to move the camera to landscape and then still keep the magnet wireless charging for the Apple Pencil 2, but we'll see in the future for that. That's the new Apple Pencil for you. It's somewhat cool, it's somewhat weird, it's maybe all in between, but
I just feel like the Apple Pencil is a product that doesn't need 3 different models.
yeah, it's just
It's too
just
much.
being confusing like the iPad lineup as it is, but we'll talk about that one in a different video.
Yeah.
And then this has been on and off with like rumors or things that's being in the works in the tech community, and that's with the iPhone SE4. The iPhone SE4 is rumored to have either iPhone 13 or 14 design, but then I also heard that it may get like an action button or it may keep the ringer switch. And this can be a reminiscence to the the iPhone mini fans out there that loved having the smaller form factor of a phone, but still getting the best performance, which you kind of technically are, but I think it's either you're getting the A15 or A16 chip, so we'll see about that. And you'll get USB-C, obviously, since they're moving forward with that as well. And then weirdly enough, you're still getting a single camera in 2023.
Yeah.
And changing up the Face ID, which is going to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Much more secure, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were kind of talking about this earlier as well. It's unique kind of with the action button being placed on the SE model before a baseline iPhone model, like the iPhone 15 Pro, for example.
Feels like an experimental phone.
Right, it does in a lot of ways, and I think we'll talk about that more in a bit. But you know, for me, with the single lens, the camera lens, I'm surprised Apple is still doing that with the SE models. I could see in the past, but like in 2023, let's get a few more camera lenses.
Give us 2 of them, come on.
Yeah.
So, as a consumer who, I don't have the Pro, so I don't have much experience with the action button, but I think confidently say that I would much rather substitute that action button for another camera lens, which is something I'm actually going to be using a lot more than I think I would with the action button.
And then it's like at the same time, it's like you have the front part of the phone being maybe the design of the iPhone 13 or 14, but then you have the potentially action button that's something exclusively for the 15 Pros, but then you have the backside looking like an XR. So it's like there's so many different components, and I'm like, I don't know if this is
molded a bunch of different phones into one.
Yeah. So that's what makes it the special edition phone, where it's a lot of experimental things in one device. But like I said, there's maybe someone out there that can reminisce over the iPhone Mini, and you can get I think it's going to be a 5.7, maybe 6.1 inch display. So whatever Apple decides with that, but that's basically the closest thing you're going to get to a mini iPhone. And
also the budget version, right? Of the phone. So
maybe even with all these features being added, they may keep it at the $429 price, but they may even try to hit a $499 since they're hitting, Face ID and maybe even an action button, and but still keeping that single camera module in the back. So and then maybe getting the potentially new 5G modem that we've heard
another
of.
experimental feature that they're working on, which in fact there were actually rumors I was reading online that the SE4 was exclusively developed just to test this new 5G modem, but then why would they develop the camera and action button and all these new hardware and software features just to test a 5G modem? So I don't think those rumors are necessarily true.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make sense.
But they're all just rumors.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And then moving on to more exciting things, it's just the simple fact that I've never really gotten excited, at least in a very long while. That's something that's outside of Apple's territory. And I was watching the Wayfarer podcast with Marquez and Andrew and them, and they were talking about Ray-Ban, the new Ray-Ban partnering with Meta for their AR glasses, basically, and how you can do the video recording, you can do taking pictures, and simple software tasks that asking for the weather or many things like that into these glasses. And of course Ray-Ban with the great sound quality and how it goes directly into your ear, which is really nice. And it got me really thinking, I kind of want to try these out, and then only finding out that they're only $300 is not bad. I was thinking they're probably more like $400 or $500, but $300 for sunglasses or regular glasses that you can obviously add for your prescription lenses if you need to have that acquired. But it's really interesting to see that.
Yeah, I agree with Elijah. I think the $300 price point is extremely fair, especially with all these. And it is, at the end of the day, kind of basic functionality, camera, weather, that sort of stuff. But to incorporate that into a pair of glasses that, if I didn't know, would just seem like a normal pair of glasses, especially at that price point. is really cool, and it's kind of like the first meta product ever like I've actually been excited about. So, and as someone who actually has prescribed glasses and who's been wearing glasses for a few, like probably 5 or 6 years now, this is something that excites me because I was just at the eye doctor's a few months ago, and the prices of glasses, I don't know if it's just my prescription, but like you're talking like it could be up to $1,000 for some. So
I feel bad for those who pay to see.
Yeah, so right. So if people like me are going to spend hundreds of dollars on glasses like that, why not just get these glasses with, you know, a camera,
a little more technology, and then be like 600, maybe 700.
Right,
bucks.
and then maybe add the prescription on top of that, so that way you're getting more for your buck.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And I don't know if that's what they're going for here, but I think that could definitely be a good use case for buying this.
Most definitely, yeah.
For sure. And I think it's really interesting. Like we were talking about this a little bit earlier, how when you're recording, you know, if you're recording video with it, it'll be a white light versus a red light. So it might be harder for people around you to know, oh, this guy's actually recording it, you know.
So that way you have the option, like, oh, I don't want to be recorded, and just like slightly move out of frame.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
weird.
That's a little different. But it'll be nice with the controls on the side of your glasses, right? So just to tap and things like that.
And then you can say, "Hey Meta," and then you can access basic functions. And then the side is to change the volume and things like that as well. I don't know if you can answer calls on the sunglasses, but that's basically what we've seen.
Yeah.
And then I think you mentioned something about
And
battery.
there's also a charging case that you can put it in. And then that case will have about 4 hours of battery life, additional to the glasses as well. So that'll be kind of nice. So $329 plus the prescription if you need that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to try it out. I will obviously need to wait a little later so I can save and make a specific purchase for this. But this is really exciting to have a non-Apple thing that I've gotten excited about. Another non-Apple thing I got excited about too is with when I discovered on Amazon the ESR 381 wireless charger stand. And then main thing is when it comes to iPhones, especially any phone in general, about the heating issue with wireless charging. And with MagSafe, it's very cool, it's very fun, but sometimes it gets a little hot. And the built-in wireless charging that has the cooling fan of the stand is really nice because anytime that I just set my phone for it to charge, it cools off the phone while charging wirelessly. Yeah. And I really appreciate that because one, you know, it doesn't overheat my phone, it doesn't mess up, you know, my battery's health. So definitely check that out. I'll have that either linked in the description or at the end of the video so you can check out that. But I'll have the link of where you can purchase it in the description as well. So make sure to check out that video. Yeah. And then finally, we've heard a lot of things. I know that last week we were hoping for new iPads. No, so we only got a pencil like we mentioned before, but we checked out again and on X, preferably Twitter, about how there may be a last minute event that will happen where it will release a new iMac, but maybe if they do it right, they will also release the iPad M2 Airs and then the iPad Mini 7 that would also fix the jelly scrolling on there, and then iMac with the M3, and then also with maybe potentially a new M3 MacBook Air, just because it has been a year, I believe, since they released a newer version of the 13-inch model. But everything's been jumbled around since, you know, July when they released the 15-inch MacBook Air, and then also finishing up the transition of their Apple Silicon chip. So the Mac Pro finally getting Apple Silicon. So a lot of things are kind of out of whack and we can't really keep track on their normal schedule that we're used to seeing. Yeah. But it's really exciting to actually hope for maybe a decent event where they can talk about the M3.
Yeah, sort of like maybe like a mini event that typically October, November they have in past years. I think that's where we can see a lot of these new products. Yeah. Hopefully in time for the holiday season where probably
the biggest... new AirPods Max, yes. Please. Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Supposedly this small event might be October 30th or the 31st, according to Mark Gurman. With the, and as you were saying, Elijah, the 24-inch iMac with M3. So that'll be cool.
There may be the same colors as well, so maybe no like physical body changes, but yeah. So this is all that we have gotten for this podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like, share, comment all your thoughts, all your opinions. We want to hear from you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.